For well over 100 years, the sound of a bugle has been heard in the early morning stillness on the campus at Virginia Tech. During these years, the Virginia Tech Corps of Cadets has provided leadership, spirit, and service to the campus community, to the state of Virginia, and to the nation.
Units to attention.
Report.
1st Battalion, all men present on count 4, serve.
2nd Group, all men present on count 4, serve.
Band Company, all men present on count 4, sir.
Battalion Group, Band Company, all men present on count 4, sir.
Battalion Group, Band Commanders, take charge. March men to mess.
The life of the cadet at Virginia Tech is a demanding one. A young person must possess a dedication to duty, a maturity of character, a sense of purpose, and a true spirit of cooperation with others. Yet these demands, coupled with the discipline and camaraderie developed with the Corps, allow the young person to develop and define his own potential and goals to an extent not generally achieved in the average university program. Because of these demands, not every student is suited for the cadet program. Yet those who do choose the cadet life generally find their sacrifices amply rewarded. What then leads a young person to choose the Corps?
When I was a senior in high school, I received a 4-year Air Force scholarship. I spent over half a year looking at colleges that offered a good 4-year program in my major and ROTC. Some friends of mine persuaded me to look at Virginia Tech, and I finally chose it because of its military program in the Corps of Cadets. Many freshmen decide to enter the Corps for reasons other than ROTC, although most come into the cadet program to seek a commission in the armed services. My roommate came in to continue the military training he had gained from junior ROTC in high school. A lot of the fellows enjoy the closeness and camaraderie they find in the Corps, sticking together for 4 years. A few of my friends wanted to be in the Heidi-Tidies marching band, and they joined the Corps even though some of them didn't even want ROTC training. Actually, ROTC is only a small part of the cadet program, and you don't have to take ROTC to be in the Corps of Cadets.
We have here the velocity is equal to this quantity. Now we want
the cadet is first a university student, and thus the ultimate goal of the Corps is to enhance the student's educational experience. This goal is achieved through the companionship and discipline that is such an essential part of the Corps. This self-discipline begins immediately in the freshman year, when freshman cadets are carefully supervised and indoctrinated by the upperclassmen.
So what we do is to say,
during a cadet's freshman year, you'll find that there's little time allowed for goofing off. In the evenings, the Corps dorms are quiet, and particular attention is given to providing freshmen the best study environment possible. Scholastic officers in each unit keep tabs on the progress of each freshman and offer any help they can or suggest another upperclassman who may be able to help them. Beginning in your freshman year, you and the rest of your class develop a real closeness from working together as a team on Corps activities and projects. Freshmen are placed in situations where they must learn to accept criticism and at times exercise judgment in making decisions for themselves and their classmates. The freshman year is a period of learning when each cadet finds out what his limitations and strengths are. And I believe this is a big part of the maturing process we all go through at the college age.
A major part of the freshman program is the academic achievement of each cadet. Each cadet company thus has a scholastic officer who works with the cadets in developing their academic potential.
As a unit scholastics officer, I work in close cooperation with the regimental scholastics officer to see that good study conditions are maintained in the dorms. In my unit, for example, I maintain the best study conditions possible and make sure that each freshman has every opportunity to get the help he needs with his courses. As part of my routine, I check his progress every week and make sure that his problems, be it academic or not, receives attention. I also keep a list of upperclassmen on the unit's bulletin board to whom the freshmen can refer to if they need help in a specific course. If a freshman is unable to get sufficient assistance, I'll refer him to the University Counseling Center where he can get the help he needs.
The life of the cadet at Virginia Tech is certainly not limited to classroom and core activities alone. The cadets are encouraged to participate in all areas of campus life, and you can find a member of the Corps providing leadership and service in nearly every extracurricular program on campus. The old axiom that the more one does, the more one can do is certainly affirmed by the Corps.
Being editor of the Bugle, Virginia Tech's yearbook, proved that I had to budget my time. Not only do I have a 24-hour job as a cadet and a student, studying for tests, preparing term papers, and generally doing the demands that are placed on me by the Corps, but I have a 24-hour job heading the Bugle staff, meeting deadlines, and organizing all the sections. The knowledge I gained from the day I entered the Corps has helped me to allow for all this time.
The Corps regulates and supervises its own sports activities program. In this way, whatever sport that you want to play, the Corps will make sure that there's an opening in it for you to play. And I guess one of the basic things about playing sports is it gives you a chance to get out in the open and just have a good time.
Within the Corps program, there are opportunities for levity, recreation, and comradeship. One event which is eagerly anticipated by the freshmen each year is Pi Day. On Pi Day, the freshmen are given the chance to repay the upperclassmen and to treat them to more than a taste of their own medicine. The fact that this is all good-natured fun does nothing to decrease the enthusiasm of the participants, however. The Virginia Tech Corps of Cadets is unique in the degree to which the cadets themselves direct the Corps program. Cadet officers handle formations and supervise other military and social activities. The development of leadership among the Corps members is a major goal of the cadet program, and thus many opportunities to lead are provided.
The type of system we have in the Corps, a system that to me is almost entirely run by the cadets themselves, is a type of system that provides many chances for a person to gain experience of being a leader. I guess it really begins freshman year. Say a freshman is given a certain job to carry out. It is his responsibility, his alone, to see that the job is done and the time limit set. As your class standing rises, so does the degree of responsibility you must be willing to accept. I would say it really reaches its peak at senior year. One thing that I learned when I first came to the Corps is very true, that you must learn to be a good follower before you can be a good leader.
Providing direction and guidance to the Corps program are a number of qualified professional military officers. Whether in the classroom or on the field, the Commandant and his staff closely supervise and encourage the development of the individual cadet.
The Middle East was, is, and will be an important area in the world. It is an area where East meets West. It's an area where the Christian faith meets the Muslim faith.
By the junior year, many of the cadets have contracted with either the Army or Air Force for an officer's commission. Now, through the ROTC program, new opportunities are provided in which the cadet may develop practical experience in problem solving, international relations, and other policy-making skills. Subjects such as military history, management, and map reading are also included in class discussions. Military skill is put to the test in the field. Here, cadets must rely on their preparation and the skill of their comrades to meet the challenges.
As a cadet, learning land navigation is important, especially for things like tactics and maneuvers. It's pretty difficult to find your way around out here in some of these mountains unless you know what you're doing. so orienteering is stressed pretty heavily. But this, along with other types of military activities, takes place a good deal outdoors, regardless of the weather. I personally enjoy the rappelling training that's offered here, but of course there's other types of training that's offered to the cadet. And this includes things like survival, patrolling, and escape and evasion. Within this escape and evasion, you learn things like crossing streams with rope bridges. I enjoy doing this because it stresses physical conditioning and teamwork. Because if one man doesn't tie a certain knot right, then someone is bound to get wet. But the things you learn don't just pertain to the military, but they're also helpful in civilian life. I like to go hunting and camping a lot, so the things I've learned through the ROTC program help me to get around and sort of live off the land and have a good time. But you're really going to have to love the outdoors, because that's where you'll spend a lot of your time.
The ROTC program even provides flight training for eligible seniors. This training will provide not only practical knowledge, but real enjoyment for the cadet after graduation.
I'll never forget the day I made my first solo. My instructor watched me pre-flight my airplane, and then he said good luck as he walked away. It was kind of unusual climbing into the airplane without the instructor, and I was a little bit nervous as I went through the engine startup checklist. But once the engine started and the plane was moving, I relaxed a little bit.
Intercom, this is Cessna 5709 Echo, taxiing runway 30. VTCC Intercom, this is Cessna 5709 Echo, rolling on runway 30. And Cessna 709 Echo, this is VTCC Unicom. There is traffic in the area, and we have one aircraft entering downwind for 30.
I was really excited on my first solo takeoff, and I'll never forget it. I thought I had just conquered the whole world, but then I remembered I still had to get down, and I started trying to remember everything my instructor had told me. I learned a lot about myself, and I gained a lot of self-confidence from flying, but I think the biggest problem I had was learning to relax. Once you learn to relax, you can get the hang of it, and flying becomes a real pleasure.
There are within the Corps program at Virginia Tech several very special and widely acclaimed organizations. One of the most widely known of which is the regimental marching band, the Highty-Tighties. Membership in this group is highly prized and sought after.
Many highlights occur for the band during a year. One of the first is the homecoming weekend. The alumni are all back to see the campus, and the students have returned, and the band's got to put on a show that's going to leave a good impression on everybody. When I first came to the Virginia Tech campus, I'd never even been in a marching band before, so being in the Highty-Tighties was an experience in itself. But it didn't really take me long to realize the true meaning of that experience. I learned of the proud history of the band, and as time has gone by, I've also learned that a band can't rest on its past history. And that's why we're constantly entering current competitive events to show that we're not the Highty-Tighties in name only.
Cadets is a unique society. Out of the shared experiences and close cooperation of members, many lasting friendships develop. In their social life, then, these friendships draw the cadets together. Whether it's an informal gathering or a military ball, everyone is relaxed and enjoys the company.
There's a unity that the guys have in the Corps that seem to hold them together, and it's this that really impressed me the most. Dating a cadet, you get to know his friends. They share so many activities together that it's easy to get to know everyone. There's also a kind of security that these guys have, and I think it's felt by others. Most of them have goals and know what they want to do when they graduate. It's like a group of organized people working toward a goal. They know what they want and go after it. And I think it's this knowing what you're all about that many of us are trying to find in ourselves.
Events steeped in tradition and pageantry highlight the social life of the cadet. For excitement and beauty, the military ball is unsurpassed. On a military weekend, such events as a cadet talent show provide a prelude to the formal military ball.
Outstanding. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to welcome you to the Virginia Tech Corps of Cadets Variety Show for this year. At this time, we'd like to present one of the highlights of the show, and that's a senior class presenting their version of a barbershop quartet. Take it, guys.
After dark, when weddings do, and the moon comes creeping o'er the hill, I'll be waiting patiently for you, for I love you true, my honey. Yes, indeed I do, my honey. Come along among the Everglades, watch the boats, see how they promenade. You're my ever-loving queen of all the dusky maids, for you're my ever-loving light blue, my moonlight blue. After dark, when everything's still.
As the days get longer, the cadets take to the outdoors for relaxation and excitement. And with the coming of spring and the conclusion of the academic year, ring dance is eagerly anticipated. Tradition, although important, does not dictate the operation of the Corps. An innovative spirit within the administration of the Corps has kept the cadet program at Virginia Tech in the forefront of such programs throughout the nation. The Virginia Tech Corps of Cadets is the first full-time corps in the nation to welcome women into its ranks. Such a spirit in the future will continue to make the Corps program relevant to university and community life. The culmination of the life of a cadet at Virginia Tech comes at the end of his senior year with the graduation and commissioning ceremonies. The young officer can look back with pride at the challenges he has faced and the accomplishments he has achieved, and he can look forward to new opportunities which will test the leadership and discipline which he has developed. The Virginia Tech Corps of Cadets is not for everyone. Those who do choose this course, however, can be certain that the challenges they face will well prepare them for the challenges of the future.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Virginia Tech Corps of Cadets and the Departments of Military Science and Aerospace Studies, thank you for attending. This concludes the commissioning ceremony.